Hello,
Hello.
how are you today?
I'm doing great. And you?
Very well, thanks. So, shall we do a mock speaking test today?
Yes.
Ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Good morning. My name is Matthew. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Um, my family name is Hirashima. First name is Hayate, and the English name is Harris. Please call me Harris.
Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. First of all, let's talk about what you do. Do you
Uh,
work or are you a student?
um, I'm working as a Navy officer. I get on the ship, part of the crew.
Do you enjoy your job?
Yes, sure. Enjoying my work.
Why?
Um, my work in Navy officer is kind of special. I can experience on the sea. I can see the wild animals, whales, the dolphins. Every can see me uh, mm, much, and I can feel. Uh, so I'm protecting my country. I'm so proud of it.
Do you do the same tasks every day?
Almost every day, I typically work on weekdays. I have uh, 2 days off on weekends.
Do you work alone or with colleagues?
Uh, I generally work with my colleagues. I have uh, training my people and working about the gun's main battery, like shooting.
Do you have a good boss?
I have a good boss. I'm he's very smart and he's very kind to us. So I feel I'm very easy to work for him.
Now, let's move on to talk about restaurants.
Restaurant. So
What's your favorite restaurant?
my favorite restaurant is uh, nearby my university, and that restaurant is run by old couple. Uh, Mm, these dishes are very great. That reminds me of my mom's meal.
Do you prefer to eat at home or at a restaurant?
Actually, I love uh eating in my home. So uh, when my when I cook myself, I can choose the only ingredients that are good for my body. I'm picky about what I eat.
What's the worst restaurant you have ever eaten at?
Worst restaurant, uh, worst restaurant, uh, that was uh where I ate. The restaurant was when I traveled to the Southeast Asia. So that restaurant was a kind of dirty and not uncomfortable. So I felt the dishes also kind of disgusting.
Do you have any plans to eat at a restaurant in the future?
In the future, uh, yes, next month, uh, I I'm going to a restaurant for uh, so celebrating Christmas with my family. Uh, the restaurant is kind of for family. So my daughter is just 1 year old. She can only have for children's dishes. The restaurant serves for children's meals.
Let's move on and talk about space. Do you ever
Space.
do you ever watch movies or TV shows about space travel?
Special. Uh, I've maybe I've watched any of that, but I can't imagine. I can remember it. Yes.
Now, let me ask you, did you learn about space when you were a child?
Uh, when I was in elementary school, I learned uh about space a little bit, but it's uh, I'm not interested in space like stars, Mars, Jupiter's. Uh, I have I have no passion about it.
Would you like to travel into space?
Uh, yes, I would. Uh, if I had a chance, I will go to the space. But right now, I heard the travel into space costs a lot of money, so it's challenge for me.
Would you think space tourism will be possible for everybody in the future?
Uh, I don't think so. Space and traveling to space is limited because of the cost, the environment, and so I say uh, maybe all elder people it's difficult to travel to space. There's a lot of significant problem. It's not like us.
Now, in this next part, I'm going to ask you to speak about a topic for 2 minutes. Before you talk, you have one
Yes.
minute to think about what you're going to say, and,
Okay.
and you can make some notes if you understand.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, you have a pencil and
Sure.
paper handy for your notes.
Mm,
Share my screen now and put the topic up. like you to describe a park that you enjoy visiting.
Discover enjoy visiting park.
All right. Now remember, you have 1 to 2
Okay.
minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start
Okay.
speaking now, please?
I visited the park, the newly established park, last month, with my family. Uh, my daughter, s- has just started to running and played on the playground equipment. Uh, uh, my wife and I was looking for the uh, la larger park to take my daughter. So I got the information uh, the about the new park, and the park is 30-minute bus ride away from my place. It's very convenient, and the park has a restaurant, uh, kind of fast food, and uh, uh, kind of some snacks, so some snacks, and also there's a lot of uh, equipment for break around for children, like from 1 or 2 year old to 7 or 8. So it's pretty great and the comfortable, uh, and it has n- new new grasses. It's very clean and comfortable. So we play around on the grass and have a lunch for have a lunch. My wife made for us. So there's also uh, a museum, aquarium, uh, kind of fishes, whales, sharks. My daughter likes my for my daughter. It's the first time.
Here.
First,
How many times have you been to this park?
oh, just once last month.
Just one time. Okay. Here. Now, in this next part, I'm going to ask you some more questions related to this topic of going to a park.
Okay.
First of all, who uses parks the most in your country?
Who? I guess the regardless of ages, genders, all people from all people from old generation use the park for various objectives. Uh, I, c- I can see the elderly people uh, talking each other on the early morning, and the children's uh, um, play with their friends after school. Yes.
How important is it to have parks in urban areas?
Urban areas, uh, the parks play an important role to be a place where the people uh, can gather and talk each other, share information, make a friends. Uh, it's very important. And for urban area, uh, it's uh, uh, gas, the dirty air pollution problem. There's a lot of pollution problem, and the park and the with green can make clean air, green oxygens. Mm, so park is pretty important.
What rules should parks have so that everyone can enjoy them?
Uh, it, the rules for everybody they care about others. For children's, uh, they uh, they tend to focus on the playing with their friends. So like playing playing soccer, uh, the balls uh, the balls uh, maybe uh, have to happen to hit uh, the babies, toddlers, and the other side, the uh, hmm, the ha, mm, elderly people, uh, it's not the obligation, but they they can observe the younger people and the children to for them to get involved the crime or something. Mm, it's a better rule uh, for
Yeah.
pro protecting people.
Are people in your country concerned about protecting green space or countryside areas?
Uh, yes, local governments are positively in implement implement the policies and rules to save green area, uh, like uh, plant a tree along the street, and the they they give incentives to to companies planting the grasses plant on their building on the roof and around the building. I think it's great.
Do you think the government should invest in protecting large areas of the countryside for people to use for recreation?
Uh, yes, it's great way to offer benefits for for fa families having children. So if they do that, the children play around on the larger space for safety, and their their parents and is less care about uh, the place children can play around. So the government uh, doesn't keep the place for play around is good way.
You think it's more important to build additional housing than to protect green space or countryside areas?
Uh, Building housing areas. Sorry, I can't hear it.
Do you think it's a good idea for the government to build more houses than
Hmm.
to protect green space?
Hmm. Uh, Actually, the population of Japan, Japanese is decreasing right now. So I think we don't need the more housing. Uh, but when it comes to keeping the greens, uh, we should uh, uh, the government should keep the place their town like to build a park or something.
Thank you. That's the end of the speaking test.
Mhm. Thank you.
So I think you've got some good ideas, but I think you're having trouble communicating them easily. So this is affecting
Easily.
your fluency. So I
Yes.
think you've got a 5 level for fluency. Sometimes your answers are not
Fluency.
very clear. So for example, the question about rules in parks, you were
Uh,
very struggling a lot with that. Um, you
yeah.
know, I think the other questions about green spaces, you had better answers there, and I could understand the ideas, but still, there
Uh,
was a lot of pausing and hesitation that was happening.
j-
And even in parts 1 and part 2, there was a lot of
mm,
pausing and hesitation. So I
mm-hmm.
think you need more practice with
Yes.
answering questions and structuring, thinking about how you're going to structure your answer
Uh,
before you start speaking. So sometimes it's useful to use some phrases to give yourself time to think, like,
mm-hmm.
let me think,
Uh,
or
I should
that's a
say
good
that.
question.
Let me think.
Yeah.
That's good question. Mm,
And decide on what
let
you're
me.
going to say and how you're going to
Uh,
say it before you
uh,
start
Let me
answering. Because when
think.
you're thinking out loud, you're pausing a lot. Sometimes you're
Mm-hmm.
not making a lot of sense. So that leads to a
Ah,
5 level for fluency. You can say also, I've never thought about that before.
I've never thought about that before.
So that
So
kind of
instead of
phrase gives you a
pausing,
little bit of time. Yeah, instead of pausing in the middle of your sentence, take some time before you start
take some
speaking.
time.
So there are also some pronunciation, especially with R and L sounds.
Oh,
So
it's
let's see if I can just pick some out here.
confusing.
I've made some notes here. You said pretty great. Is pretty
Pretty,
great. So
pretty.
it's pretty great, right?
It's pretty great. Pretty,
Pray
uh,
instead of
pretty.
play, lunch instead of lunch.
Lunch.
Yeah.
Lunch. Play, lunch. How about lunch? Which my wife made.
Family instead of family.
Family.
So I think for for vocabulary and for
Mm,
grammar and for pronunciation, you're at a 6 level. So overall, this would be 5.5.
5.5.
Just remember, extend your answers in part 1, providing
Mm.
some additional information or a
Additional
reason.
information. Okay.
Answer the question directly. So when I asked you, do you do the same tasks every day? You didn't really talk about what tasks you do.
Mm.
You just said, I wake up, I do my work. You answered very generally there. You
Mm.
said, I'm very easy to work for him. It's
Mm.
very easy to
It's
work for
very,
him.
very
The
it's
dishes
very
also kind of disgusting. The dishes were also kind of
war
disgusting. So you're missing a verb there.
this
Maybe I've watched any of that. So we're talking about space.
Mhm.
You didn't really have any answers. No, you could just say no, I don't. I
No,
haven't watched.
no,
Yeah,
I
no, I
don't.
haven't
I have
watched
never watched.
anything about space. No, I didn't learn about space in school. I wasn't, So
The
instead of
first
saying
I answered the
I
question.
don't remember, don't say I
Mm.
don't remember. Just decide on something to talk about related to that. So if you haven't watched, say you haven't watched, give the
Mm.
reason. We
Mm.
didn't really, I'm not really interested in space, so I don't watch
Mhm.
things about space.
Uh-huh.
So just even if you don't have anything to say, answer the question directly.
Okay.
Think
Thank you.
of something to say to a reason why not. Yeah.
Mm.
Every people is difficult to travel, so it is difficult for everyone to travel. So I think you're having trouble structuring your sentences sometimes in a way that is clear.
Mm.
Again, in part 2, the park is 30-minute bus ride, a 30-minute bus ride away.
Us.
Have a lunch, which my wife made. So if you're talking about the past, had a lunch, which my wife made. Talking, you said old people in the park talking each other should be talking to
Talking
each
to each
other.
other. Talking to each other.
And like plant the tree, I've said like planting trees, or they
Planting trees.
plant trees, but not the tree.
Planting trees.
Implement instead of implement
Implement.
also.
Implement. Implement.
All
Implement.
right. So I think you need to practice a little bit more with answering questions and giving yourself time to think.
Okay.
That's the most important thing is your fluency.
Okay, that's right.
All right. Thanks, Harris.
Thanks. Thanks for today. Bye.
You're welcome. See you.